we continue. So we were working on the disco string to create some tension in the break. Okay, so now from this point on, you can go many ways. You can go the melodic way and start adding some chords under it. Let's do that first. Then I'm also going to show you the techie way to lead up to a very crazy, how I would personally do it type of drop. Which is also a little bit more Chris Avant-Garde inspired, I think. Massano, think Massano. But let's start with the melodic one. How would it sound if you play around with the chords under it? Of course, you would not introduce this immediately in the break, actually, but you want to play. So in order to play, you need to hear what you're doing. For example, not saying this is the best one, but let's have some trials here. Possibility. Let's put this here, make another one from make another one. The thing is, like, I really want the ending to fit with the rest of the record, but try not to limit yourself for a while also, because maybe you will come up with something better. Yeah. Also possibility not getting too hot from it, but let's see where, always listen back to what you were doing so you get an idea, a feeling where you're heading. Also, don't be afraid to mess around with some FX for announcing things. It can be very tight in the background. Set quiet. Yeah, like something like this. See, to really give it that atmosphere when your thing comes in. Actually, I want to see what happens if you switch completely to the organ there. That's way sexier. I'm not even sure anymore about the other bass. Okay, now for me, I need some like percussive melody in the background, like, and this is dependent on flavor. You could use a guitar, you could use a real sound. I like to mess around with cutting vocals and stretching them so you can't hear that it's a vocal. So see if I can do something like that here. Fuck.
I bet you don't sleep at night. So tell me when it's gonna be.
Okay, let's stretch the hell out of this. So I just want to try to get it to sound a little bit more smooth. It's like I took a really fast sample, made it really slow. So I'm going to look for something more wet.
Who am I? I'm the get it real.
Okay, there you go. Oh, there you go. That's actually the right key. Okay, usually I wouldn't do that, but today, oof. Of course, it's very important that, like I said, I'm not going to use the actual BPM. I'm just going to time stretch it to, or I'm going to cut it and move it to a place where it fits with the current cadence. To hear that, I'm going to mute the chords and just use the rhythm. It's okay to use repeating notes. Just make it fit. Of course, you want to do the no bleeding, remove click, declicking mode. So one thing I like to do if it doesn't reach, because I don't want to get too much change after that melody, I'm just going to add a copied version that's time stretched and see what happens. Breed up, breed up, it up, bee, buddy, dee, da, da, bee, bee, da, da, bee. Oh, this, fade in, this. Let's see what happens if I... So again, just as I always do, I render this so I can just start moving on. I can always edit later and never delete the original sample. And I also get here, you can see this is not nice. So now I know before rendering already, I gotta make that sexy. Oh, wait, that's a mistake. See if it looks better now. Yeah, well, good enough. Lower the volume. So let's see how that sounds with the chords under. Oh, what happened there? Yeah, okay, so that went really soft, so now we know we gotta up that note a little bit more. So now I want to take it somewhere, and this now gets to the important part. So we're going to continue building. What I like to do is I like to take a reference of where I want to take it. So for example, we have my record in here. I add these chords inside. Claps. And then it goes like with snares. To eventually drop with chords. So it's possible to do that, but it's a big moment, so that requires a lot of risk from whatever DJ is playing. So I would not necessarily go that route, but you could go that route. Instead, right now, I want to go a different route. I want to go more the Fisher losing it type of build up, or the Fisher, It's a Killa record build up. And I want to, what do I want to do? I want to add in the tech house thing. So like I said, so what you could try to do here, like I said before, we could try a Masano vibe, which have some presets that kind of sound like it. You can find them on YouTube. You can find them online. Let me open the Serum real quick. I save one. Let's try that too. One thing that's very important when making these tiny cadences, the difference between smaller notes can make a big difference in your cadence. So try to play around with that. That's actually funny. If you take, for example, the Anima record right now, you could edit the pitch of this. Let me see, where is the pitch? See, I don't know if it works. I would have to adjust the exact pitch thing, but it's pretty funny. But we're here for a tutorial, so let's try as many tricks as possible. Put this on the channel, add a nice big compressor and reverb, aka the Afro hard setting. And now we're gonna extend this pitch optimization. Why is it only going down? Actually, I think I made a mistake in the preset. The pitch goes from -2 to -12. That's why. Let me add one extra step here so it goes a little bit quicker. So that's a very interesting way to change it up when you get bored of doing the normal thing. Of course, now you're going cross-genre, so you're taking a little bit of a risk for other DJs to play this. But at least it makes it more interesting. And always, if it's too much in the foreground, you can always tuck it in the background. Actually, I have a surprise arrangement for you. I'm gonna do the super surprise trick that's gonna mess with everybody and go quickly, get to the point, finish game over party mode. So we're here in that breakdown and you got the emotion and then you have like the little sweet build up to nothing. And some white noise out, yeah. Gotta add it low impact. Like a dirty one, like, oh my god, what was that? Very short. Open the filter a little bit more. I forgot how to... No. Do I have to be on a note? Yeah, there you go. and then you drop it with everything. So that's a way to drop it. I'm not saying it's the right one for this, but for now let's go with that. Keep it clean and simple and get you started. Okay, yeah, that doesn't match with the baseline, so you might see it as an in-between drop. But let's see what happens, just to find out. And let's put a little sidechain on that thing and turn off the sidechain. This is one thing that's also very important. Automate your sidechain during the entire record to make sure that in the breaks it's off. Because if it's on in the breaks, of course you could do it on purpose, but generally it just sounds like you don't know what you're doing. And it makes it sound more professional when the sidechain is gone in the break. Of course, this is to each their own. Something went... my kick accidentally was on the channel. My bad. Let's give this a little color and make it synth. Synth. There you go. Now we know that's the synth. We don't touch it. Okay, that might be a little bit too much over compression for this record, because it's still a house record, but... Also here, very important, mix a little bit, because here there's a lot of Wally frequencies, especially when you go octave up around the 200 to 500 area. Also gotta mute that bass, so I'm gonna make this a unique pattern where you're only gonna have the sub bass line. Bye bass, didn't like you anyway, honestly. Maybe actually one octave lower, just for some filling. Mute, make that solo, or make that unique, put it down an octave. Do I dare to go full in this? Let's try the brut. Okay, 16th note. Okay, so this is now becoming a different record. I just want to try to see what happens if I if I make the bass line straight, because now it's still very much based on the original start of the record, but just let's see where it takes it. Of course the downlifter should be big too and straight. You could also do the anticlimax and just do the synth once. This is very well possible in tech house. Like this is because I'm an EDM DJ, I like to like go everything at the full time, quickly bam bam bam. But the thing that happens a lot in tech house is actually literally doing what we're doing now. Give it a wait, announce the theme, and then go back to the original. Actually, I would think this would be 1 octave lower than, and we make that unique. Yeah, also I think for the first drop you might not want to have directly the congas because it's more of percussive filler. And then, of course, you need a little bit of FX on the drop. And of course, like I call it the losing it, just the brrrr. And of course, you could do it with a horn, but you can actually do it with any sound. So let me just go here and say, you know what, drum and bass. As long as it is alive. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work. Drum and bass. I have drum and bass presets though. Location, splice, shocking feature bounds, serum bass, nest serum, melodic techno. Oh, the melodic techno could also work. But yeah, basically we're gonna go for. You can even sample yourself if you really want. So let's see if there's anything in these spirits, vibes, vomit presets. I don't know, man. Scary. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so that's not it. That is not it. It's also not it. It's funny. I don't think that's the right pack. Come on. That's pretty cool. Of course, you want to make sure it doesn't have any insane low. So again, we're going to put it on the high pass. And need some more crash effects. Downlifter, let's go Prida style on this. Might be a little bit too much. Okay, gonna high pass that. See what else we can do on this. Also, I want to see what happens if we make these crashers shorter again and go with the full straight snares to make it more impactful. Da 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 da. I don't know about, honestly, I don't know about that bass note, that bass sound. Oh no. Okay. Okay, yeah, so maybe that's a little bit too quick. Might be too early an announcement, but you know, you can shape it however you like. You can make the second build up way bigger. You can make it shorter. I think that this is fine for now. Actually, technically, if you're making like a general house record, all this stuff that I'm doing doesn't happen till the second break. So you would actually go back for a second. I'm gonna put a limiter on this. I don't like the dynamics. Also, one thing I'm noticing, I think the kick is way too loud and there's not enough sub. But of course, this is a matter of trying and trying. And A-Bing with your reference record, actually what I should be doing right now. So let's see how. And my bassline is sidechained to the wrong synth, actually, to the wrong sidechain channel. No, it is to the right. That's way too fast, I think. Okay, it's and like also one thing that's very important, like you're seeing I'm doing a lot of listening back and forth, thinking. It's normal to have to think to like, okay, where do I want to take this thing? But the most important thing you don't want to do is get stuck and do nothing and just mess about. So right now what I'm going to do, we have all this stuff. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to cut my reference. I'm going to copy everything. I'm going to paste it a mile next to it and just try again and completely mess it up and change it around. So I still have the original drop that I was working on before, but now I can just have fun and do whatever I like. Let's add some, let's go completely crazy here for a second. We have free play anyway. Ooh. Let's get some vocals. Vocal. Then need some brrrr. Just search. Find anything. Again, the reverb sweep technique. Actually, the low end is kind of in the way, but there's a high sweep. I like this a lot. Also, one thing I noticed is that there's not so much high in those little sub snares. So I'm gonna try to find a 909 or 808 snare. Heeft iemand de airco ijskoud gezet of zo? Nee. Ik zet hem even uit. So yeah, I'm gonna find a 909 snare to add some high to it. Snare. There you go. I'm gonna add that on top of it. See if I can get away with just adding the highs. Put it on my high pass 400 Hertz filter. Yeah, that's better. Oof, that's so old. Don't forget the extra one here. Actually, no extra one because you go up to the scratch. Too much information. That's a big difference. You hear this difference? Oop. Mute those. Also, one thing I like to do is take, for example, woo woo. You know, the old school whoop samples. Whoop. I don't even know where I'm looking right now. Let me just go to whoop. Okay, I don't have a whoop. Come on, give me a whoop. What is up with all these whoops? Where's the a woo maybe?
Yeah!
Yeah, that works. Make sure it's in key. No one's gonna tell, it's fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little of messing with people's heads on the dance floor. Add some crazy delays to this thing. Yeah, so now we can have some fun. And this is the nice thing about tech house and techno. You actually get the opportunity to have fun and mess around, like from a producer perspective. Gonna get way worse. We get easy before it gets worse. So what I want to see is like just keep it going and keep the melody like hanging and then drop it and see what happens. So we're gonna pitch this whoop up because it's time stretch now. And I'm gonna start from a lower note, so it's gonna be exactly in key the moment I want it to be, which is the breakdown. How do I do this? The moment the melody starts, yeah, okay, let's try this. So we're gonna start lower. I'm gonna put it very loud so you can hear clearly. can have fun with those things. Let me just turn down the feedback a little bit because it's a little bit too much. And then I'm gonna extend that pre-drop hang because I think it's kind of too short if this is the only thing we're gonna do. Of course, if the record would be longer and we would play along more, maybe, but since we're not doing that, let's double this. What is that? Okay, so I still feel like the anticlimax thing doesn't really work with because the turn makes you want to go somewhere else. But maybe if we go back to the high octave one, it works. Let's see. Sorry. It gets very loud like that, but I just wanted you to hear what's going on. Now I put it down. I completely forgot about the vocal. Okay, so this is an interesting take on it.
Get ready, get ready. Get ready, 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 get ready.
I'm going to mute the percussion for the drop to see if that will give it more of a dimension shift. So I think that synth on the drop. Okay, so let's edit this for now. So we at least have a clear volume and knows what's going on in this record. There's the whoop.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Actually, one more thing that you could do right before the drop to make that impact even bigger is change up the vocal. So I'm gonna render this because the delay just keeps going, and I want to clean it before the drop. So what's interesting, if you take a very lo-fi sample, it's a super fun flip of dimension before the drop. So I'm just gonna go to these Vengeance low quality one shots. Words.
Consciousness, communication technology,
network,
satellites, technology.
It kind of sounds like techno. So just see the idea.
Get ready, 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 get ready. Get ready, 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 get ready. Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
Almost saying techno.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
Let's see if we can up this halfway portamento to a higher octave for the brrrr. Almost. That's pretty cool.
Ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Technology.
Render. Because I want a clean cut right there. And then again, I want to have that anti-drop by doing a little reverse there. Instead of finding a reverse ride or reverse crash, I will just find a regular ride and reverse it. Oh, that's a nice one actually. That's too high. That was too silent. Let's see. Oh, I cannot hear it. What else is going on there? It's too busy for... the woo is very distracting. And the hi-hat is in the way, the open hi-hat from before. Yeah, so it's kind of in the same dimension and frequency as the lower hi-hat. So I'm just gonna do it like that. As you see, I gonna lower the note. And I like to, of course, I'm still going to high pass it, but one thing I like to do, I like to put it a little bit too loud, so it kind of gets you a shocking effect. And also, I think this should be sidechain, I'm not sure. And I'm just gonna put a double kick to really showcase that that was the drop, and now we can go back to grooving. No more tricks.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
Another trick I have to tell you, when you're mixing, it's very, how you say, if you hear that synth, you're like, it's nice, but it doesn't hit me enough. And you end up turning the volume higher and higher until it hits you right. It means that there are some frequencies in that synth that aren't loud enough. So instead of putting it louder until you feel it, but then everything else is louder, you didn't actually fix your mix. You just turned up the volume, which basically flattens everything in your ears. So instead, try to find where there's maybe a little bit too much frequency. And I think in this case it's, there you go. So there's this very cool equalizer that takes it out dynamically. So we're gonna just dynamically take it out. Maybe a little bit sharper. Might be too much, but at least it's a start.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
I honestly think it's not enough, because that synth makes everything else sound softer, but it sounds like it should be louder. Like,
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
one thing I do a lot too is switch between mono and stereo, because it also could be a phasing issue. And this is like you're going very in depth, and I am not good at this. So then I usually just take a different preset. But yeah. If I turn it to mono, it's gonna lose a lot of its power.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
And there's also a way to actually do this only on the side. So I'm gonna take out the frequencies. Am I gonna take them from the middle or the side? So there's so many options here. So let's try to see what happens if I take them from the middle. And this one too. So it's actually only functioning on the middle frequencies. Yeah, it's really this low one.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Technology.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Okay, so let's get to some more mixing things. I want to get the clap right. The most important thing is like scats, scats. So
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
so here we have a kick, hi-hat, and clap. So let me just give these guys colors so you see what's what. That's the wrong random color. Okay, thank you. Kick.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Hat. And clap.
Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Now let's give all these other things a channel too. Started from 30, 31, 32. This is a pain in the butt if you were lazy like me. Then this is on a high pass channel.
Get ready, 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 get ready.
Let's keep it with percussion mainly. Wait, with or sorry?
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
So another very important thing in mixing, as we also discussed before, low frequency checking. So you're only gonna listen to the sub and A/B it with a different record. And then you can easily tell, hey, my kick is way too loud or my sub bass is way too loud, either or. So this record almost has no sub bass. Well, let me see another record I recently did. Yeah, this Swan Fields work edit I did with him. Here it is. That's how it started. I am very happy because his kick and bass volume sounds very similar to mine. And we've been playing this record for a while and it sounds really good and everyone's been playing it for a while. It works, and if it works, that means it's good. Only big difference is that I have a long bass line and the work record has a short bass line. So that makes you wonder, like if you're thinking in terms of energy, I have a and the other record has a. So now if we're going to mix that with the kick and we're going to do it for 5 minutes in a nightclub, you're going to feel a very big difference in energy if you do versus. So what I'm going to try to do now is to make it shorter as it was in the beginning. So let's see, we're still going to keep the original, but we're going to copy it and make it shorter. Also has way more impact in the reference record. So I just turn it up way louder. I usually would never put my sub bass at the same volume as the kick. But if you have a reference that every DJ in the world's been playing, and I'm not talking radio show, I'm talking club, you see it live, you see it at festivals, you see it in Ibiza nightclubs, and they're playing it and it works, and other people play it as well and it works. There's a very big difference between James Hype playing a James Hype record and it working, or Afrojack playing an Afrojack record and it working, or someone else playing that same record and it working. So that's like your best reference is a record that blew up, that other people are playing, and it goes off when other people play because the record is so good. Use that as a reference. So there we go. Also, one thing that I noticed in the reference record, it has a 1 octave higher bass note in the mix somewhere. So it goes boom, 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 boom. So we should maybe try something like that too.
Get ready. Get ready.
I feel like something is wrong with the impact of my kick now. Maybe it's still too long. Let's see what happens if I do octave higher. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's... Oh, no. Oof, that's way too low, and I didn't high pass it. So now we're dealing with... So I just started adding random octaves just to see where it feels right. So now this is the bass line. Oh, actually, I'll play it for you in a different synth as well so you can hear it. Just remind me not to undo, to actually undo. Sounds pretty good. Just doesn't mix with the other notes, so... That note is so good. Just gonna see what happens if I'm just gonna add those extra notes to spice it up a little bit that are in the body bass line. Yeah, I should really cut off that low end, because if you have that in a club, it will hit so low that all the other low stuff doesn't sound low anymore. So it will just take out the energy of your record. So we're gonna do this at a natural phase. Gonna introduce some latency, but should be fine. And we're gonna try to flatten it. Yeah, 50 hertz. Oh. And I have a little bit more of a hold, a little less decay. Oof, that sounds pretty good though, that like extra note. The low note, because it stops a certain frequency from shifting, it makes it very jumpy. Yeah, that gives it so much more vibe, because now instead of going like boom 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 boom, it does boom 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 boom. And it takes out space by adding that low note. So that low note actually takes out the frequency for a minute to here let you rest. Actually, it's not rest, it's like a lower frequency, but because we added the equalizer, the lower frequency is less loud. So it actually gives you volume-wise some rest, I think. Of course, you never know until you render it, and then you can see the waveform. But to me, it's already sounding a lot better. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the waveform together. I'm going to record the audio. Let me see. We're in pattern 4, so that's here. Yeah, there it is. So that's that space I'm talking about. Of course, this frequency does not look right for speakers, but at least it gives you the space for the next note. Technically, if you want to be really nitpicky about it, you could do something like this. I'm not sure from a mastering perspective if this is better. But at least it feels right. Yeah, it's a very low frequency. I would be a little bit worried about that. But again, like now we're nitpicking and now we're looking at audio engineering mastering level. And honestly, I don't like to go there unless it's absolutely necessary. And in this case, I don't think it's absolutely necessary as of yet. So yeah, if you want to really flex and really be sharp about it, you could just take this, re-render it, and oh wait, now it got sidechained, sorry. Re-render it, no sidechain. And there you go, that looks a lot better. That was a latency issue from the, how you say, from the linear phase of the Pro Q3. I don't know how to fix it. Oh wait, no, and of course the reference is on. My bad. Yeah, so you can go very in depth with that, but honestly, I rarely go that far, and I would only check it if I play the record and it actually doesn't seem to work. But hey, better safe than sound, so it's always wise to have a look at your little recording so you can actually analyze what's happening in the low end before you're like, hey, my master sounds muddy, I don't know why. Also, what I could try is to just lower the volume of this. I don't like the speed of that. Maybe I can pitch it? I think the bass could use a little bit more body, which is usually around 150 hertz. So I'm just gonna open up the main synth more for that. This might have a little bit too much of the wob 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 in it. I'm gonna add some strings earlier when the piano comes in just to fill it up a little bit more, because the piano feels a little bit empty now. No, and that also doesn't work. So what you can always do is insert a little following lead, which is just gonna fill up the main lead that you have. So in this case, the piano. And I really want it to be filling in the low end and have the same quickness. That's pretty nice. I'm gonna take out the clap there and replace it with the new higher 909 we added for the next drop. Okay, so the only thing I'm noticing if I'm looking at my master spectrum analyzer is that that bass is still very resonant. I'm gonna add these loops also on the channel to get closer with my other mixing drums. Always try to put it in a group. I'm gonna try to pitch shift this up just to see if it fits nicer in the total mix. One thing I always do, because I don't like the dynamics, for example, of this piano, and I know it's a choice, but right now when I'm looking at my mix, I'm like, yo, this piano is loud as hell, but it's actually only the bass transient, so look. It peaks at -5 and then it goes back down to -12. So do I really want those 6 decibels of peaking sounds in my mix? It might be a little bit aggressive or might be too much, but it makes my mixing so much easier. It's funny because that's the difference. You limit it and then it sounds louder when the limiter is on, but it's actually softer. And then you turn it off and it looks like it's louder. It's supposed to be louder, but it sounds actually softer. Listen. And look at the meter. Okay, but it's distorting a little bit, so I'm going to take off a little bit. Yeah, way better. It might be possible that all my other sounds are a little bit too low in the mix, and you can only listen this on very low level when referencing. Yeah, so one thing I noticed there is that my clap is way too EDM-y. And the word clap is very k. So we're going to try for a different clap for that real quick. Of course, we never delete the original because we always want to keep what we have. You're just going to mute it. So we're going to go for a house clap. Let's find a house clap. Up. Usually garage samples work really well. That's a tight clap. Not sure it's gonna work for this record, but try. You never know until you try. So all the volume is condensed into one frequency, which makes it sound a lot funkier. And I still think my bass line is too long. So I'm going to try to shorten that again. Also, one thing I noticed is that these congas and this percussion might have a little bit of too much mid. Yeah, that's full frequency spectrum. I don't like that for percussion. I like it to be peaking in a certain area. So. Just as an experiment, I lowered the kick by a bunch of decibels. Let's see again how that feels. Yeah, so mixing, trying. Actually, what I'm going to do now, because the sub is playing the right notes, I feel like. I'm going to try another synth, just to see what happens. That's actually accidental fire. I don't know how it's going to mix with the next organ, but it's okay. I'm going to save this as organ nice. And we're going to clone again and keep searching. But this, like, I don't know what is happening with that synth, but it just sounds like it fitted perfect in the mix. Now I noticed that during playing that white noise shift build was way too loud. Also, I like it sidechained, please. Not that much. Just need some delay on it though. So one thing I heard there was a very loud percussive thing sticking out. Protect. That's because I made these unique. Just grouping them real quick, but they need to be on the same channel as the other percussion. So be very careful when you're making things unique to make sure you add them to the same mixer track, because else you're just going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Technology.
Yeah, I'm still missing some low end there. Maybe I'm gonna try to change the sub as well, just to see what happens, but also try to change the main note, of course. I like that a lot. That's very 90s bass. It's very chill. Sometimes, like, while you're listening, you can like, I really wish that would happen earlier. So now I just changed it to double.
Technology.
Actually, okay, so that sounds pretty good. The only thing that really sucks right now in my ears is the reverb of this synth getting stuck over the techno vocal. I'm gonna render that and then I cut it. Oh, and actually I'm gonna reverse the tail end. So I'm gonna use that to even more of a build up to that techno. So that would be a fun addition, I think. Make it extra loud.
Technology.
Also, I'm gonna mute that sub bass or that for a second just to see what it sounds like. But I think that the 90s bass on the drop really makes it like gives it a vibe, and that's how you see like. If we listen back now to the original bass, I think we're gonna be like, "What the hell was that? Makes no sense." And now we find a sound that actually has a story.
Technology.
Just some sounds just don't have the impact you need. It's just like you can. These presets have so many settings and reverbs and phasing and chorus that you can just lose the essence of the punch. And then a standard Moog preset, which is this little 90s thing, just does it the best, apparently.
Technology.
And what I like to do sometimes is just do some extra, we're still having fun in production, some snare hits or something.
Technology.
like that type of stuff. Just gonna make sure that the bass line is sidechained with that properly. Just have fun with this too. And I used the wrong clap there. It kind of worked. So not necessarily the wrong clap, but let's see.
Techno.
It might just be that clap, but it's a little bit too long. Let's see what happens. Just keep listening, keep trying, keep feeling.
Techno. Techno.
Yeah, and then for that part, after that little fill, we can do a little extra variation of the bar. Just to see what happens. Let's render that too. Give some sidechain. Then sidechain the second part to a different channel, just have fun with it.
ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Techno.
Get ready, get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Techno.
Keep a little bit of attack on your sub bass so it doesn't click.
Techno.
So one new, well, for me it's a new mastering technique, is putting on a, what do you call it? A clipper. Where is it? A fruity clipper. Soft clipper here. You can use many different plugins of this, but essentially it like sort of distorts your record, like in a way that you can almost not hear it.
Techno. Techno.
Get ready, get ready.
I think my kick is missing some transients or something. Ah, yeah, well, there you go. You can see it there on the waveform. It's missing the puck. Yeah, so this is actually a cool trick Skrillex taught me, is to, if your kick doesn't pop enough, to add a self-made transient. And then he made me one, so this is the file he gave me. So I forgot how to do it. We'll get later into it in the mixing detail. But yeah, definitely when your kick doesn't have enough pop, you can just add a little transient.
Get ready, get ready. Get ready, get ready.
And it's funny because it really changes the sound and the impact of your record just by adding a little transient on the kick.
Get ready, get ready.
One thing though with FL is that sometimes you have to go in on a deeper level of detail. Oh, wait, actually I didn't save it. Wow. Okay, so save as Afrojack, Tech House, Academy. Yay. So I'm going to change the settings of the project, which is going to give you more detail zoom. So I'm going to go from 96 ppq to 192 ppq. And now you can actually have way more detailed zoom, as you can see here. If you didn't know, here's a new trick. So yeah, now we zoomed in. Now I can add those transients on the kick even more. If I can find where I placed them, here they are. So you can put them right on the...
Get ready, get ready.
Yeah, that clicks a little bit. That's not good. Let's Just the first 4. So let me see if I can... Oh, you know what? I'm just going to make one unique and edit it in Edison. And this is the thing. You got to go pretty far with detail if you really want to get that professional, perfect sounding sound. And the shit thing is about that, it's just hard work. And that's the thing, like, I love Skrillex. He's one of my favorite producers. And when he showed me one of his projects, it is just detailed, very, very, very hard work, very detailed work. Rendering everything, checking every waveform to make sure it's perfect. Just like we're doing with this transient right now. And then we can see if it actually works. How am I going to find this sample? Well, yeah, here. So I'm going to load this. So the funniest thing about this is, so you just added the click on your kick, but if you look at the compressor, it makes no difference, but it makes such a difference in the sound. So really feel free to edit your own kick if it doesn't have enough punch or anything like that, or just find another kick. That's the lazy way to do it. But these are final details. This will not make the difference if between your record works or doesn't work, but it makes the difference between it works even better or it works well. So I missed some reverse crash there. So I'm going to add some. Add some final details. This is of course all not mandatory, but you know.
Check now.
Clean this up. Sidechain on the big open hi-hat. Pss, pss. Add some clap maybe. And one thing that I do a lot if I don't have mastering yet, because I usually send out to external mastering because I'm lazy, but one thing I do, and most of the records that I play in my set, I usually do this, which is a tiny little trick to just make it sound a little bit brighter for the demos, just so they coincide a little bit with other sound. Because when you go to mastering, they do a lot of EQing to make it like really perfect. So I try to go around 3500, 4000 hertz and just give it like 1.5, 2 decibels of edge. Just change the level of I changed the octave of the synth. I added it 1 octave higher, and I'm gonna add some attack because it follows the piano, so the piano has enough attack on its own. And then also I'm gonna put it on the same channel as the piano, so it goes through the same compressor to save space in the mix. Just lower a little bit of too much in the same frequency.
Check now.
One thing you can also do to make it even more dynamic, because now I noticed that this thing we used in the background, this percussive thing, makes it very spacey and constant. So what I would like to do for the drop is have the same one, but have it be way shorter. So I'm just going to take all these notes and do this. Wait. So now I see there's a triple 32 bar at the drop. Am I crazy? 4, 16, 32, 32. Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be a single get ready. Ah, yeah, and then we do the long build up there with all the extra elements. Also, I noticed we forgot this little baby. And we're gonna add that all on the drop. And then it should line up perfectly. Almost. There we go. Gonna take out the sub there. So that's it basically, and then we're gonna copy and paste this gigantic beat on the beginning, and that's gonna be our outmix, and then we're gonna have our basic tech house record, basic, and then you can add as much as you want, but the most important thing is that this repetition that you see here, that it just continues on and on and on and on, and that everything also lines up, that you have your bar, your bar, your bar. Oh. Like this is all, oh, this is a group, this is a group, this is a group, this is a group, that's 4 groups, and then you're out. I think that's 30 seconds, or is it 1 minute? 30 minutes, no, that's 1 minute, but you can do that in Tech House. Ja.
Ik kaats dan boven met...
Oké.
Fantastic.